match like we're talking about from that TI lower bracket finals. But another thing to talk about here is just going to be this switch up. Of course, Nisha playing against his old team. What does Nisha really bring to the squad, do you think?
Nisha is just a solo pressuring monster, always knows where to be at the right time.
Yeah, he's just absolutely all over it. We did actually get a quick little tidbit here from Insania as well, talking through some of the things that he brings to the squad with the roster change.
So we haven't, unfortunately, started scrimming too much at the time of doing this interview, but hopefully by the time this goes live, Nisha and we will be very comfortable playing with him. Yeah, I'm very excited for him. He's, a talent that's probably not really, can't really compare him to anyone in the scene. So yeah, if you have to replace Matu, it's very hard to find someone who's similar to Matu, but I think we found someone who will be able to provide his own unique flair to our team.
As you can see, of course, always going to be tough to try and replace such a legendary player.
Yeah.
But getting a hell of a good player and playing on the Batrider this time.
Yep, very confident hero, plays it a ton. And yeah, he's already spamming the Zai J in the mid lane, of course, so we're going to have to be looking at those on the floor all the time.
Good.
Puppy.
Some trouble, getting chased on down. They move on in, and Boxy with Insania pair together to get the first blood. So.
Right.
Making some early moves.
Grezzo even tried to use his Wolf to tank some of those battery assaults, but nope, couldn't actually do enough.
Scary stuff there, for sure. So Resolution, the last pick with the Lycan, this hero obviously has had, fallen off a little bit somewhat in terms of the recent patches and stuff. What do you think it is that they saw on the Lycan with this last pick here that they want to go for it?
I think it's just like this pressure. It does have this cool way also of like how attack damage reduction, Morph is really high base damage about that, so maybe it's something along that. I'm not too sure, to be honest though. I think they're looking at the supports and they're like, it is a good Lycan game in that front that they can't actually deal with summons and everything, but besides that and besides pace, I'm not too certain.
Okay. We'll watch for that for sure. And how he does in this laning stage is Puppy facing off against Boxy. And of course the mid is definitely a place that we want to eyes on as well.
That's going to be the big one to look at. Boom is on his best hero, in my opinion. This and his Storm are fantastic, so let's see how he's going to be able to do the pressure, because as we know that Bat can be super oppressive versus Ember.
Really turn things around really quickly in that mid lane. They decide to switch up things, maybe take a level in Flame Break or what have you.
It's cool how they set up all three lanes in a way where they see the Razor opening, and all three of these cores are actually quite good versus Razor throughout all stages of the game. The Nature's Prophet in laning phase, maybe later on, of course, you know, you can stick on top of Nature's Prophet, but he can itemize Batrider and Morphling natural counters for that Razor. So they did set themselves up just to really make Crystals have kind of a tough time.
Yeah, trying to definitely shut him down early if they can. And, well, the other hero, Zayat's getting beaten by a tree as a tree. This was his first hero that he really rose up the ranks with, playing that Tree Protector in position 4. At this time, playing together with Chrysalis in this bot lane. But they're definitely taking a beating.
Yeah, Tree and Techies, right? He was the specialist for a long time when nobody's even playing him at mid. Uh-oh.
Nisha with the move, didn't even need the Flame Break.
Nope, and he actually has both Water Runes available. So that is brutal, the timing for him to get this kill.
Jeez. All right, well, that's why you get him.
Yeah, that's why you get him, and you know, the panel had said it multiple times as well too, the question mark about that Ember versus the Batrider pick. Nisha already takes advantage, level 4, double fills up his bottle. It's going to be a slow start for Boom, having to get the boots early on, not going to be having that bottle too early. Need to get the boots for Spat, but gets punished.
Definitely not where they wanted that one to start for the side of Team Secret, as Zayat's going to get pulled back in, but has the tree armor. The body blocks are there from Zai, forcing him back, and yeah, they just keep on punching away at him down here on the bottom lane.
Top is absolutely free farming also. Boxy doing an excellent job versus Puppy. And Mika is just able to stand his ground versus this Lycan. A good start for Liquid.
Yeah, Liquid looking good across all 3 of their lanes with 7 denies on that Morph lane. The game is not looking that close here early on. Of course, things can change. And, I mean, is there any, like, level changes where things start to get easier here for Secret, or is it going to come down to rotations?
I think it's all about those rotations. I think Liquid, the lanes look really strong, and they also have some of these heroes that are just innate counter picks, like the Tree, like the Clockwork in particular versus the Tree and Bane. I know Synderen had mentioned it. It's one of these best melee heroes, because you can actually trade with Tree throughout any stages of the game, any stages of the laning phase, that is.
Really hard to deal with there.
Yep. And it's just, I'm just staring at mid. You know, Nisha, he's got a full level advantage already versus Boom. And he's just playing the bully game of denies, too. He's making sure that he can at least try to get those denies. Nice last hit from Boom.
Well, and that's one of the things, too, that's so interesting, right? Like, when we've been watching games in these other regions, what have you, as, oh, Boom has to just TP out. Yeah, there's no way to get away from that one otherwise. All right, don't die now.
Yeah, I was about to say, but now it's the water runes are up again. Nisha's going to be able to double fill, and he's even looking to continue pressuring.
Yeah, I guess Boom feels like he can't really stop that. Well, he is going to be able to maybe get the one bottom. But yeah, Wave pushing in and then a little bit of a reprieve for Boom.
He might get chased. He might have to like run completely away.
Dude.
Nisha's zoning him out of the lane. I was going to say, he's going to try to go for that. He's going to get the bounty, but as we say, he doesn't have bottle. You know, he had to go for boots. Oh, just kidding. It's killed by a little tree guy there.
Oh, that hurts. Dude, they are putting so much emphasis on just destroying Boom right now.
On destroying lanes in particular, right? All three lanes looking really damn good for Liquid. And as you know, because they have these three good lane setups, it makes it a lot harder for them to actually move a support to check runes, to help out Boom, to help out this poor Ember Spirit. So Liquid right now, 2K lead, 5 minutes.
Left completely on an island, and well, now they get another kill. Liquid coming out of the gate swinging, just looking so strong right now. And I mean, Chrysalis doesn't really have a great answer to it. He's down here bottom, 21-5. This hero that often loves to get off to a hot start and, you know, struggling a bit.
Yeah, playing versus those ranged heroes can always be a little bit harder for Razor, and he's playing versus Treants, and he's playing versus Rubik, who's getting good trade. Chrysalis might be going down here.
Body blocks with the trees, pull back in, Fade Bolt there, the punches, they move in, and
the armor.
Oh, the armor just barely going to be able to keep him alive.
Whew, that was close.
This just looks like another tier of gameplay right now coming out from Liquid. Flirting between that 1 and 2K gold lead right now.
That is crazy. I look at the last hits. I mean, 37 on Morphling. He's not only getting free farm, he's getting the wolves as well in some situations.
Ember hasn't had another CS in the last 2-3 minutes or so.
Oh boy.
Well, Boxy gonna chase down Puppey here. Throw some hits around. So Bane definitely more capable of dealing with the pressure from the clock if you can spam out those brain saps.
But he's pushing him out, and now they're securing the power rune again. Nisha, he's got Lasso at the ready.
And moves in, looking for another solo kill here mid. Boom, will he be able to survive through this one? Needs one more hit, but there's the Nightmare. And with the tree armor, that will be enough to keep that Ember alive.
Secure the rune though, and they know now at this point also that they can start, they're actually the ones that can start moving the supports out of those side lanes, because their side lanes can't actually really be punished too much. The Furion can, Nature's Prophet could get punished with some rotations, but another grab.
Boom, the lift, they pull him back in, they bring him down. Oh boy. Nisha, another kill here.
This is really rough, Gabe. I gotta be real here. Like, it's already a last pick Morphling into pretty much like almost no disables. He's playing into the looking at Zai really quickly. He quick DPs out. He'll be all right. Yeah, it's a Morphling versus Razor and Ember. So when he's in the fights, like let's say once everything starts kicking off too, he's just going to be turning into him as well. This is brutal.
This is a heck of a beatdown is what we're seeing right now. And again, you sort of think about the context of this sole matchup. Secret was the one that knocked them out of TI at a chance for a grand finals, looking for a little bit of retribution here. The Liquid squad came to play.
Look at bottom. They're already setting up again for the Razor.
And Chrysalis able to throw it out, but the catch is there. Boxy, chase, couple more hits. That's all they need. The tree armor is very good. And Boxy, can he trade over the aggro in time? Won't be able to. Zayat picks up that kill, but the big one is another core dropping for Secret.
And they're forcing reactions bottom. So again, I mean, they probably can't even pressure the Morphling Mickey anyway, but either way, Liquid continue just doing every right move. This is I mean, it looks small of a lead, but it's a pretty massive lead with the way that their lineups work versus each other. Secrets is the lineup that wants to have the early lead versus this type of draft, versus this Morphling, but Liquid coming off to an excellent start. Maybe they get Zai here.
Yeah, doesn't have TP for another couple of seconds here. Puppey moves in too, and actually is the one that ends up taking that kill. So Zai goes down, a much-needed reprieve for Secret.
Yeah. Probably wanted Crystals to get it, but it happens.
Yeah,
at least he dies. You know, you don't want to miss that kill. So
listen, if Puppey wants the kill, he's taking the kill.
That is true. Fair enough.
Well, 2-5, and yeah, it's again like you're talking about more the dynamic of this Morphling having a complete and total free farm type of game, and we've seen Mickey do this on this hero multiple times.
And it's relative to the, you know, the other cores, like I was mentioning before, what he's playing against, the Ember and the Razor. You're always going to have a pretty good matchup as a Morphling versus those two. Boom does at least get the bottle. You know, he does get the illusion room, so we'll have some way to bail himself out, at least versus Nisha, unless he just gets grabbed.
And that, of course, is going to be potentially there. Although should be able to see him come in. Rezo jumped on, has the Wolves nearby to try and take up some of that, but it's not going to quite be enough as he gets ran down and killed. Mickey turns his sights over towards mid too and could have killed off that Ember if he wouldn't jump away.
Boots of Travel already finished up for Nisha coming out and looking to even go for Boom. Insania was making the move, but can't quite. So yeah, all three lanes looking dominant. Support's having an excellent start on Liquid. Secret gonna have to start probably just double moving the supports around to try to get some type of counter ganks here, but it's still not easy. And at the same time too, in the back of their heads, it's always gonna be Mickey is free farming, and how the hell do we actually slow this Morphling down?
Yeah, it feels like killing him is going to be a really hard task, but maybe around this Helm of the Dominator that Lycan is finishing off here in just a little bit, they can try and pressure the towers. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but it feels like that's sort of the next big strength that they kind of have coming their direction.
Yeah, playing around Rezo is probably going to have to just be the thing that they do, but Nisha with the bots is always going to be able to be there this early. Puppy.
True.
Getting zoned away. Actually,
dude, this
getting
is
aggressive. Okay, bit deep.
Under tier 2 tower, they force a TP from the tree. I don't think they're going to be able to stop this from happening. And yeah, they just walk away on the rest of Liquid. It's a DD for Boom, but immediately bringing him down. The Cogs push back, tries to remnant through and get away. And the Wrath of Nature, it's enough with the boxy hit to get the kill, but can they bring down Nisha? Trying to punch him. Zayat's right on top. It's pretty good hits, but with the stick charges, it was never going to be enough.
Look at they're feeling themselves. So they want people to buy their support pack. Look at that spam of their own voice whistles, and they get the Dominator creep too.
Yo.
Hitting on all cylinders.
They are killing it. Secret, I mean, it's a struggle right now. There's no two ways about it. This has not gone the way that they wanted it to.
No, and Nisha actually has, okay, it's just a single Ancient stack. I thought it was a double Ancient stack, so he's even got somewhere to go while his lasso's on cooldown now. That big hit from the Wrath of Nature, I think that caught Boom off guard.
It's a 5,000 gold lead. Morphling solo taking that tier 1 tower up there as Boxy still just playing a bit of bully here. Now, he is caught a little bit in no man's land. With Boom moving in, maybe they can find themselves a kill. And in fact, they will take that one indeed. Resolution, the one that gets the last touch.
At least it's a kill. He has a DD on Ember. This might be the moment where he might just have to like kind of YOLO for one of the cores in an attempt, but not going to be the case. That DD will be wearing out, and now pressure is going to come down on bottom side. He's going to start getting the push, and seeing the items already start getting queued. So looking to counteract that Ember. They do have a bit of limited catch in a way on the side of Liquid. This Orchid will make every other spell easier to get on top of him.
Zayat's obviously one good thing that you can also do with this Treant now is defend these towers. Like you're saying, there is the potential for Zai to go in with an Orchid kill onto him when he's doing that, but at least they have some tools here, it feels like, on Secret to try and keep their towers alive. Yeah,
it's only the level 1 living armor, though, so he did put 3 in Leech Seed for trying to fight a little bit more. So it will be a bit of a slow heal on that tower.
Right. Well, as Nisha farms out that direction, it is Boom that finds another power rune. Regen this time for him.
Alrighty.
And Zai a little ways away from that Orchid. They still feel somewhat comfortable just sitting pretty on their lead.
Can definitely look to make aggressive moves now. Lasso's back at the ready. They have Wrath of Nature, so Liquid could look to go for something here. Secret, I feel like it's so hard for them to really make any move unless they just have straight number advantage. But even then, they are quite behind already versus these strong cores.
Yeah.
Strong early game cores, that is, with this type of lead.
Insania also has Sleight of Fist, so if he spots Zayat's there, that's a pretty easy jump. And in fact, they spot the ward, see him, hook shot in.
Found him.
Yeah, that tree is not going to be living that long. So a heads-up play, and Liquid, they bring numbers to secure this tower.
You can do the slight plus lift thing, too, so Boom have to actually be careful. They actually get it on him.
And then immediately, the connection's there. He thought he was safe. He was... Oh, maybe? No, nope. He dies.
He burns out.
Oh, it hurts.
It does.
Even popped regen.
He did. And oh, now Puppy also getting surrounded.
You see anybody on the lane, you are immediately going to get jumped on here. They doesn't even have the Orchid yet, but Zai and Mickey just pair together, get the kill after the tower, and head immediately mid.
Maybe they can get something. Can they get a good route?
This would be big, but the Cogs laid out perfectly. And Zai, he pushes himself to the other side of the Cogs. The route's still going to be there, so they get the kill on the MP. And that is something Secret needed. They can't afford to give up that mid tower.
No. expensive hold, though. That is both the Lycan ult as well as the Tree ult to kind of defend that there. So could see Liquid just go right back with that Nature's Prophet. Doesn't have to really hesitate to go for the pressure. Yeah, Liquid, as I said, hitting on all cylinders. And he's still keeping the Slight. It's going to be wearing off soon, but it's actually one of the coolest things. I love when people do this type of play with the Slight lift.
Yeah. So one thing that I'm kind of curious about from you is we see this 6K gold lead, and there's times where drafts will kind of stall out. They won't be able to, you know, take down the tier 2 tower, shut down the map. As we see another pickoff here, Zayat's dead. Do you see that being a problem for Liquid's lineup, or do they have what it takes to just keep the snowball going?
They can keep that pace going. They have the vision from Clockwork constantly to hunt for these little sneaky guys in the tree lines, and they have the Nature's Prophet who naturally pushes, and Morphling who usually doesn't have this type of an amazing early start, so usually he gets a little bit slower to join in. He can actually join for the pushes. He has Manta pretty much done. So yeah, they can keep this pace up.
Slight, Chains, Puppey, Nightmare, onto Boxy. They have the Hoof Stomp ready. Connects on to the Clockwork, trying to bring him down. Dude, it's so hard to kill Boxy. I don't think he lives here. Well, maybe. Boxy walks away, just TP's out. They have a way to kill him, yes. But it does sort of signal the times how tough that one was for him.
It's also 5 heroes to kill a Clockwork.
Yeah.
Now, he's died 3 times this game, but I think all of his deaths for me have been like, okay, it's a good death from the Clock so far. He's just making space for his cores, and they got what they kind of came for. They took, I believe, all of the farm around the Ancients there for Nisha, who is about to have a BKB done already at this point in the game. So, man, he's getting close to double the net worth of the Ember.
Yeah, that is a serious, serious problem. Nisha is just on another level right now. And so many of these kills that they've gotten on Secret have sort of been by virtue of the spell damage coming in, what have you. We'll have to watch and wait and see what Secret's solution is to this.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
I'm trying to find it as well this whole time. I'm like, okay, they have Enfeeble and stuff like that, but the Morphling already has like Manta, so you have no real counters versus him at all. As now, mid lane.
Ooh, okay, Puppey lives for a second and still burning down little by little, even hookshotting right on top of him. Boxy says, you're not getting away with that one for free. Chrysalis has to run away, and instead they get the pullback. Resolution runs in, wants to find this kill into Boxy, gets one. Can he get another? Insania is in his sights. The overgrowth is there, so they kill off both of the supports. Can they find anything else? Chrysalis actually lives.
Can they get Nisha?
This would be huge.
He has BKB TP if he really wants to, as Mike is actually zoning away the tree.
Oh no. All right, everybody run. Try to get out of there. The real cores have arrived. Zayat's hiding, but there is no real hiding from this. BKB, like you said, at the ready, but Nisha, he holds on and can just walk away safely.
Oh, Puppey. Hello.
Right?
See you later.
Okay. Maybe going for a snipe.
I mean, they're going to immediately get that D ward, I think, too. They already have the sentry on low ground.
Yeah, that one hurts.
They have no vision. They have lanes got dominated. Oh, I mean, it's perfect execution from Liquid, and Secret just has no way of really getting anything big back into it. It just continues to be support kills, right? Boxy died, Insania died. They're not getting the cores. They got his eye twice earlier, but yeah, not at this point.
So we've gotten a couple of looks here at various points at this, you know, Razor build, and just has that Void Stone sitting there pretty. I wasn't sure exactly what that was. It's trying to get towards maybe a Yule or something. I'm not sure, but regardless, it's been a bit of a rough time. It feels like they've had to switch up their items because the game hasn't gone the way that they planned it.
Yeah, I think he thought he was going to be able to sit back and farm maybe a little bit more, but Liquid's just playing so oppressive. 9K lead, I mean, this is one of the bigger leads I've seen at 17 minutes with this type of draft, with the Morphling on their team.
Now, Liquid set to make another move with Rubik and Clockwork heading out across the map. Nisha.
Got vision here.
Fiend's Grip could be a big play. The root is there. Thinks about going for it. They have the Fiend's Grip immediately broken. Stolen Fiend's Grip. Oh no, that's not the way that's supposed to go. Zayat dead. Dude, they were so ready. Oh my god.
Instant D ward on that one. The other ward as well too. It's still on the cliff, but probably going to die in a second too. They're making every right move right now. Yeah, I saw the 2 smokes on the 2 supports up top. They smoked to meet their cores down bottom, and they do it at the perfect time. They were almost perfectly baiting Secret to look to use that Fiend's Grip.
Yeah, that was, and again, you know, you look at it, it's like, oh, maybe there's a chance maybe we can do it. It's just, nope, not going to happen. Man.
Nisha, like you can see, he's kind of toying, right? The idea, he was like holding the BKB, waiting for them to kind of go on him until his teammates arrive, and then boom, they hit.
You know, it reminds me a lot of what we've been seeing in the China region coming out from Nothing to Say, in a way, you know? The similar type of, like, always believing that the team's going to have his back. But let's see if they can keep up this momentum now on Liquid, and for Secret, what the solution's going to be for them. As they are, again, having to hold hands over near their not triangle on the high ground there.
They're just getting so out-farmed. They're having to stick together, everybody on Secret. I think the BKB is still not even done. This might just be a desperation play. They're just like, maybe we just try to have to run into Roche, but using the Wolves to scout Nisha.
Yeah, they've seen some things. Hook shot behind.
Fine Puppy.
Again, poor old Bane, and with the TP coming in from Zai, he's kind of in no man's land, but they're going to kill Boxy first. Eyes immediately onto the NP. He's going to die here. Zayat's barely living, but Insania ends that one now. Nisha backs away, still has the BKB ready, and it looks like they're going to have to be able to just but no jump. Whoo, that was close.
Almost gets lassoed. Still has to just continue running away. Secret tried to make an aggressive move. They got Zai at least. Zai did TP right in the middle of all of them, but again and again, Liquid always there with the numbers. I thought maybe that was honestly Secret, like running into Roche and just be like, what do we do now? Like, we just need to try to do something crazy, because the game feels almost unfixable at this point.
And, you know, there are some things, like you can imagine a world in which if, you know, Lycan is really strong, if Razor has a pretty good game, they have damage to BKB.
They glyph the creep.
Oh, get out of there.
Oh, it actually's not long enough. It will die, so no Nisha. But boom, there's Zai there.
Oh, no! Oh, boom. He gets caught. He gets killed. That one hurts.
Interesting to point out, too, Zai went for an early shard. So just looking to play around.
Interesting.
Some extra little bit of damage and vision every single time, too. I mean, great to catch the tree always.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what it's made for, it feels like.
Yeah.
Like that in a Tinker or something.
Oh boy.
Old growth. Wow. What a start to the DPC for Liquid.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the dream for what you can ask for.
Yeah, people think, oh, new team, got to get everybody on the same page, but you just put in a player like this, and yeah, 91% right now.
Feels like that. They've got a Witchblade. Even Nisha's even going for the scaling build on the Batrider. I love this build when we do get to see it. Doesn't need to go for Blink Daggers or anything. He's just going to continue to scale. They're actually the ones going into the Roche. The fresh Scotty now for Mickey. Secret can't do anything. Ooh, I think that 91's going to go to a 99 very soon.
Maybe we're going to need to see something desperate here, but like you said, it's already down, Aegis in hand, and we're playing some side lane Dota for Team Secret. They have got to try and just buy whatever time that they can. But the reality is that, you know, with Bat having bots, with NP, it's, I mean, Clockwork, none of these things make it easy. If you're pushing out side lane, you might just be dead.
Yeah, and you just, yeah, as we prefaced, you know, the Morphling just outscales immensely versus these cores too. So the game, yeah, it's a rough one. It's a rough one.
And the movement in towards mid now. You can see Ember pushing up top. They scan right on top of him. Know that Zayat's in the area. They drop down some sentries now. Spot him there. Hello, friend. How are you? Zayat tries to hide away. And okay, gets a little bit of separation there. TP's out.
All right. I think they ran out of sentries, actually. Yeah, they did. No dust either on the two supports. Either way, constricting it. Poor Secret. Look at them. Look at their heat map right now. They are just trapped in the base at 22 minutes with a Lycan draft. That usually is just, yeah, that usually says the whole tale of the game here from the early game.
One tower taken up top as Puppy.
Oh, he's just in. Look at Mickey.
Jumps immediately. Puppy gone. Mickey gets the link off now, trading the hit over. Chrysalis does have his BKB, but they're going to back away. And, well, now the connection resolution, he's in a little bit of trouble. Zai chases forward, wants to find a couple more hits if they can. They did kill off that Rubik, but now Chrysalis is in pretty far. But Mickey doesn't feel confident chasing that much further. So they're going to set back, wait for the ultis to wear out.
Got another support. It just continues to be the supports, really, mostly from Liquid. 7 of those deaths.
Yeah, and you do have to be careful at this point. I mean, Liquid fans know there's no game that's not throwable.
This might be one of them, though. They are so comfortable in this one. Morphling at Mickey, just 7-0-2, 16K. He's actually almost, yeah, he's 2 cores put together just in that net worth. And phenomenal matchups. As the push continues, and Secret just has to stay there with all 5 heroes.
Complete vision, but they can't do anything about it. Boxy's just running into 2 or 3 heroes, but he will get punished this time. Now, is there any follow-up for the rest of Liquid? He can't really go on Mickey with that Aegis in hand. So they defend their high ground at the very least for Secret.
Another one where Boxy probably says, space team, 6 deaths for me, all's good in the world, my cores are happy. He pig-pulled himself. I think he could have actually maybe survived if he didn't do that, but I think he was trying to get a catch. But they get the tower, so Liquid continue to be incredibly happy with the game state.
And Zai opting for that Aghanims, almost has it completed. Puppey gets the D ward.
Ooh. That's actually pretty cool. I like that. That maybe is one of the things that you won't really expect when you're playing like Ember and Lycan. It's just going to root all your summons as well, too. That's cool. I haven't gotten to see this in quite a long time.
Yeah, in a way, it's that answer, too, for the Yule Scepter there on the Ember. If he thinks, okay, I can take off the silence, then afterwards immediately gets caught.
Actually, yeah, this is a really cool build. I mean, this Orchid is normal, but the Shard into the Aghanims is something I at least haven't seen too much in recent times. Works really well when you have this type of an advantage.
Nisha, threatening high ground. They grip and immediately broke in, and now they pull back out Chrysalis. He's still doing a lot of damage to Nisha, actually. Do they have enough to bring him down? Punches come in from Zai. He's fully controlled, dropping low, but able to live. And now Zai, he gets turned on by Resolution, but Mickey's shown up. The big bad Morphlane ready to chase. Can he get the slight chains? Doesn't quite look like it, but they killed off Zai. So, Overgrowth, the chase. Boxy there, okay. Mickey's still looking for more kills off Boom. He didn't have an answer for that one.
I just saw that right, by the way. His monster kill on Rezo during all of this game, as disastrous as it's been for Secret.
That is crazy.
He at least does have a monster kill, but that also means that when he dies to one of them, he's going to give a lot of gold to the side of Liquid too. But at least he's having a pretty good game because, oh, he actually just killed the Aegis with the Wolf.
Oh my God. Dude,
I mean, that was
what
just
a
a
winner.
nice little play.
40 seconds down. Dude, he's 8-1-3 in a game where they're down 17,000 gold.
He's doing an excellent job. He's not getting caught. He's just using his summon to the maximum every single time, but it's just not enough because the other 2 cores are just... they're not in the same game, really, at all.
Well, we'll see if he can continue to be a thorn in the side of Liquid. But to be honest, when you're stomping on somebody's face, I don't know about thorn. It's not a big issue.
True that.
Next round of neutrals, DD spawns. And it looks like after the Aegis is down, Liquid are going to be a little bit more respectful of the potential to throw this one away. They're sort of playing a little bit more on their side of the map, although going for a pick-off here.
Oop.
Yeah, heads-up play by Boom.
I think they also recognized a little bit that the vision is really advantageous, at least for Secret, around that triangle. So now they actually picked up a gem for the Rubik, and now I think they're going to group up, look to swarm, take over that triangle area, prepare for the next set of moments here. They might even be able to push while doing this because Mika has this DD rune.
Yeah,
so let's see what the move is.
Get a couple of seconds unhampered there in that mid lane. It's just going to fall. And it looks like instead, well, we'll see. They're kind of keeping their eyes on it. Up top, Zai is waiting. Zayat's there. And they do have wards in the area which scouted him, so they did see him, yeah.
They're starting to swing over. Yeah, they actually use a smoke, so they're going to have to spot everything over through here. And oh, Boxy.
And connects, finds one. Rezo, that's the good target to get. Tries to switch over into Wolf form, doesn't have a chance.
Big money.
Now Chrysalis, he's going to have to TP away, but does he have enough? No! Mickey is too strong on this Morphling.
Oh, they might call it. This is looking. I mean, it's been looking pretty impossible, but now after that, your one guy that was having a good game gives up that gold all the way to the Morphling. Time for the push. I think a full Satanic now for Mickey as well.
Going in. Unreal. I mean, again, this is one of the best starts that we've seen from this team in a while. And, well, they move forward, take down this Tier 3 tower here with the DD still there on Mickey. They're going to force out the Glyph. Still 16 seconds until that Razor's back up again.
Nice attack range there from Mickey. Of course, Grove Bow plus Dragonlance, so he can actually hit that tower from a bit lower. But they're going to back it up, go for Tier 2, keep the waves pushed out. Zai goes bottom.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And probably look, I mean, the Roche will be spawning in about, can be spawning in about a minute, but Secret, they're just trapped. So game could just end in a fight outside here, or Liquid can play it patient. Puppey's stepping up far.
Dude, this guy's crazy. Hook shot in. He goes down. They're hoping for something there. Zai on the side. Zayat's able to get the overgrowth, but it's not looking like enough damage. Yule's Scepter to try and keep the Ember alive for a moment. Does he have a way to get out of there? Remnants to escape. Okay. Boom. Does manage to get away. So 2 supports dead. Now Liquid, they pop BKB. They're ready to go. Another Link there onto Chrysalis. The game is breaking with how good Liquid look right now. And GG is called. What a clean game 1.
Wow, that's all I can really say. They didn't really sacrifice any of their cores much. Zai a couple of times does die, but that's always been the name for Zai, right? He's always a little bit of that sacrificial lamb from the off lane. So he just sets up such a beautiful game, really. I don't know what else you can ask for. If you're a Liquid fan, that was kind of...